Hey guys, it's Rachel Castile. Welcome to Refinement Friday here at Typology Corner. This is where we take a breath, come back to center, and honor the work of becoming whole. Today, we're going to be talking about something that runs quietly in the background for most people, and that is the voice in our heads. The one that's always commenting, criticizing, correcting. It sounds like you, but it's not always telling the truth. Today, we're going to look at where the inner critic comes from, how to discern and how to question that voice to see the actual damage it does to us, and how to move out of sync with it and to begin to be kinder with to ourselves. And yeah, guys, I'm going to share from my journey. Self-criticism has been a huge thing in my life, and I'm going to just help to untie this off of our minds, and that there really is freedom from this. You don't have to live haunted by something that's beating you up. We're going to look at where the inner critic actually comes from. And honestly, it's come from moments. We've been shaped by the voices in our life, people who spoke over us, in moments whenever we felt unseen, we felt unsafe, or not worthy. It could have been a parent's tone. So it's not even what they said, just their tone. A teacher's disapproval. A culture that prized perfection. So when you made a mistake, it's just that berating voice on you. Maybe you were praised for being strong, but shamed whenever you were sensitive, whenever you cried, when you showed your feelings. Maybe no one said it out loud, but you learned, I have to be hard on myself to survive. I have to be hard on myself to survive. So it seems like just a thing you have to do to deal with the fact that the world is going to be hard on you. So I need to do this. I need to do this ahead of time. I need to work on myself. The inner critic. Yeah. So now the critic tries to protect you by preempting failure. It says, fix this, hide that, be better. But that voice isn't your wisdom. Sounds like it, right? No, it's your fear. It's your fear masquerading as you. Yeah. So this could start in early childhood. This could start like whenever you're really going after your dreams, and out of nowhere, the world turns on you and everybody's like just condemning you, discouraging you, trying to turn you around. It could be within siblings, within a family where you felt like the ugly duckling. You were teased, you were made fun of. For me, it was a lot of that. It was a lot of family stuff that I began to tell myself to shape up, show up a certain way. I began to define what was acceptable. I began to find myself in the eyes of others. Adjust, adjust, adjust until approved of. Adjust, adjust, adjust until approved of. Yeah, this is where it starts. And then it's in the body. It's in the soul, but it's in the body. As I'm talking about this stuff, you hear me on Refinement Fridays, I'm feeling all this tension. I see it in the videos I make, and I'm like, I am resolving to get through this stuff. I'm going to do it on camera. I'm going to get this stuff out. I will not live under this no more. So we're going to continue through this, but that is a part of it. I choose to put this stuff in the light. I choose to live and talk about these types of things. So now let's get into the damage it does, even when it feels helpful. Okay? The inner critic will often pretend that it's helping you. It could sound something like this. If I don't push myself, I'll never grow. If I'm not tough on myself, I'll become lazy. If I stop criticizing myself, I'll fall apart. Sounds familiar? But here's the truth. Criticism doesn't create change. It creates shame. Criticism doesn't create change. It creates shame. there are situations where you almost like felt criticized because it's a familiar thing to that voice. And sometimes you can have somebody who in love is actually helping you. But this inner voice usually isn't that. This criticism, it's forging you, but it's making you ashamed of what you are. And shame doesn't make you better, it makes you smaller. Let's talk about that. Being smaller. This is why it's so important to face this, because shame makes you shrink. It makes you present yourself as less than what you are. It makes you believe what you are is shameful. So you start creating another image. You start creating another way to present yourself to show up. In my OP type, I saw this as me being ashamed of the fact that my SE is masculine and my FE is masculine. Therefore, how I show up in the world is pushy. Thought that was bad. Now I'm learning to embrace it again so that I can enjoy what I do. I can enjoy my expression. I can not criticize the way I show up in the world, that I can actually begin to get back on my path and to begin to be the voice that I was meant to be on any given thing. In all that I create, that I actually know I can show up in the world. I can be all that I am in the midst of everything. Like, it's how to show up. As the shame is breaking off, I can be what I am. People don't need to be what I am, but I have my own flow. So in this shame breaking off of me, it doesn't mean that other people have to behave like me, but I thought I needed to behave like other people. And yeah, I would get criticized anytime I was bold. Anytime I spoke out on something, anytime I shared my thoughts, I got obliterated. I'm not trying to condemn nobody. I'm not trying to like shame anybody else. But this is my journey and I have to tell it. I have to live it out. So yeah. So I resolve to unravel on camera. I resolve to find wholeness in this space. What does wholeness look like in me creating content? I'm just like, bear with me. I might make no sense. It's important that we navigate between the critical voice and the voice of truth. The critical voice and our actual identity. It matters because the critical voice straitjackets what you are, that you don't get to live fully free. That's my aim in this video, is to set you free. As you watch me begin to work through things myself. So the byproduct of shame is it makes you smaller. You start second guessing your intuition. Big thing for me. Second guessing what I see. Second guessing what I discern. That you can't just speak. You can't just live in your own path. It makes you question your own voice, your own direction, everything. As though being sure of yourself means that you think you're somebody. You think you're better than others. And I think a part of it is like trying to keep a target off my back. It's like, hey, if you're vocal, you're going to get talked about. But what else would one expect, right? We all discuss. Somebody's starting the discussions. Somebody's talking about things, and I need to see that as a good thing now. Hey, it's good. It's good. Let's talk. But yeah, shame will lead you to withhold your creativity. This has been my life, man. I'll try to unpack what I can. I'm just gonna flow. But yeah, withholding your creativity. You start second guessing your intuition, withholding your creativity, walking on eggshells inside your own mind. When we think about an OP, we have an introverted observer. We have some information that we know, right? We're taking in new information. We play, we share. Like, why has our energy gotten backed up and clogged up? Why is it that when we go to blast, we criticize what it is when all we can do is be what we are and flow from that, right? There's a beautiful, unique mix depending on what your function order is, what your animal stack order is. What you create, what you release is going to be you, you know? It's not supposed to be like anybody else. So this is the detrimental, this is English. This is what is detrimental about living under criticism and in shame. You don't believe what you carry is of value. You don't believe the way you're going to say it is the way it needs to be said. That's been the big thing for me. I'm blast third. And I could fall prey to like, no, I need to learn more. I need to learn more. I need to learn more. I need to learn more because I'm consumed first, you know? And it's like, nah, I have things to say as me in the way I'm going to say it as a sleep last person, as an ESTP, as NI last, and it's feminine. Like, I'm going to blast in the way that I do. It's going to be kind of free flow. Who knows where it's going? Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. It hasn't felt okay to me in 29 years. I love a good conversation in a safe place, but I have to begin to live in such a way that I know I'm safe everywhere at all times, and anything I do, I can show up just the same for my online community like I can with a friend on the phone, with my husband, to begin to reclaim these spaces of safety that I can not live in shame. I don't have to criticize myself. I don't have to critique everything that comes out of my mouth. Living like this, what is it? It's exhausting. Living under the weight of criticism, it's exhausting. And over time, it convinces you that who you are is a problem. This has been the unpeeling of myself for the last 10 years to begin to get new experiences, to know that who I am is not a problem. Partially, a lot of that is still carrying the shame, trying to be validated, trying to be accepted. So now my identity is tied to whether those people who accept me, I don't know, or if they don't accept me anymore, now my self-esteem plummets again, right? If it's external, this is why the internal voice has to be dealt with. I have to conquer it, because if my anchor is external, then I'm turbulent depending on how they see me. So it's been the journey of like discovery, of learning who I am, and to know I have permission to speak. Every person has permission to speak. That's what I love about this day and age, where we can all get on camera and connect and release and connect and release and connect and release and build community around the things that's in our hearts, the things that we want to talk about, the things that we enjoy. You can literally build a community around anything, because there's other people who are looking for what you love already. And this is my journey of beginning to rebirth myself in a space of topics, of things that I love. Like, I want to do this type of work, and I want to be present in it. Like, and what does that look like? And it's been a process. Like, I've not letting criticism dictate me to the point that I don't create, but still getting to a point of creating freely. It's like you gotta like walk through some stuff, and that's what it's been like for me. But yeah, so criticism has been absolutely exhausting. Shame has been exhausting. It's been a heavy burden. Kind of layering things I've talked about in other videos, but like when we start to carry something, it's a heavy burden on us. And it's physical. It's not only just mental or our heart, our soul, it's in our body. So it's a process of coming out of agreement with things and beginning to flow differently, to learn how to flow differently. So now let's look at learning to question the voice. How do we begin to not just on a nervous system level, just like fall into what the critic is saying? It starts by you don't have to believe everything that you think. Know that thoughts are going to come. You're going to hear stuff. You're not defined by it. You don't have to immediately chew on it. You're just like, okay, that's a perspective. Yeah. Just because a thought is loud, it doesn't mean it's wise. You don't have to swallow it immediately. Just because it feels urgent, it doesn't mean it's true. And a lot of times that's when the critic comes in this like fight or flight moment, when something's like feels risky. It could be like, I potentially could be judged right now. I'm about to talk. I'm about to public speak. I'm walking in a room with strangers. And all these thoughts like, oh, your clothes is messed up. Oh, fix this. Oh, you better smile. Oh, you better say something. You better say something funny. It creates this urgency. It sounds like helpful advice, right? Yeah. So how we begin to question the voice, start by asking, whose voice is this really? So now you're distancing, you're opening the possibility that it's not you. Whose voice is this really? Is this how I would speak to someone I love? Is this how I would speak to someone I love? Because a lot of times we give a lot more grace to other people and we're hard on ourselves. Like, if I wouldn't talk to somebody else like this, why should I be talking to myself this way? What does this voice want me to believe about myself? Yeah, what is the pitch? What is it selling? Because you don't have to buy it. You don't have to buy it just because it's being said. What does this voice want me to believe about myself? Is this a slippery slope? Is it telling me to slide down into the abyss of anxiety? Or is it actually building me up? Is it edifying me? What does this voice want me to believe about myself? When you slow down and question the critic, something powerful happens. You create space, and in that space, a new voice can rise. One that speaks like truth, one that sounds like you. And this is that, I would call it, it's the space of self-awareness. Self-awareness is like a zone of no judgment. It's a zone of like pause the video. If you could just pause, like you're in a room, you got all this going on. Rest is actually always an option. It don't feel like it. It might be like, oh, they're going to think, where did Rachel go? And it might just be, I need to go to the restroom and I'll be back. You can sit with your thoughts. You can actually be like, hey y'all, I'll be right back. You can do it right there. Like, I need a minute. Whatever it is, it's like, think about the space you created for yourself. You live in the amount of torment you allow, and you live in the peace you cultivate and you steward. Like, you can choose it. So you like, I feel anxiety, but I want peace. I'm going to choose peace. How do I access peace? How do I synchronize with peace? How do I synchronize with truth? And what is my actual voice saying right now? I need to learn how to create that space for myself. And it can be, go sit on the toilet at somebody's house and recalibrate. Get your head right. Yeah. So in that space that you create for yourself, when you slow down and question the critic, Now a new voice can arise, one that sounds like truth, one that sounds like you. And what is truth? It's what your heart actually needs. What does your heart actually need to hear? What is the affirmation that you need spoken over yourself? What's the perspective shift that you need in that moment? Because what you're experiencing, you've already reaping the fruit of it. Like, if, in other words, like if you put a tape in and this comes out the speaker, you already know what that tape is. So that tape is already producing its fruit. So it's like, what do I want to play in the room of my heart? What tape do I need? I need a different tape. And this helps you to disconnect. It's not me, it's the tape that's playing. Yeah. So now let's look at practicing a kinder inner voice. The new tape. So you don't need to silence the critic overnight. Know that that's almost not realistic. That is what is like hardwired into you. So you need to wire something new. That's why I love meditation. I love affirmations. It's something that you can consciously choose until it subconsciously is a reality where your beliefs begin to change. So you have to begin to feed yourself better food until it fully cleanses your system from the old voice. But yeah, you don't need to silence the critic overnight, but you can begin to offer another option. So when the old voice says you're failing, try responding, I'm learning. I'm learning. So it puts it at bay. I'm learning. Something that simple. It could be a one-liner. You're failing. No, I'm learning. I'm learning. When it says you should be better by now, instead say, I'm allowed to grow at my own pace. I'm allowed to grow at my own pace. You can write these down, like, and just say them until they just pop up in your soul, like a usable tool, right? These other things, they were either spoken by somebody and then we started saying it to ourselves for years, for decades. So it's going to take some intentional repetition to learn to talk to ourselves better. So yeah, you should be better by now. You should be better by now. No. I'm allowed to grow at my own pace. I'm allowed to grow at my own pace. I'm learning. I learned from what I've walked through, and I'm allowed to grow at my own pace. When it says, you always mess this up, instead say, this is hard, and I'm still worthy of grace. This is hard, and I'm still worthy of grace. I'm learning. I'm allowed to grow at my own pace. I'm learning from my mistakes. I know more today than I knew yesterday. And because of that, I'm going to do better. Each time I fall, I learn something about myself and I heal that area of my heart. I'm living from a deeper truth. Yeah. This is what it's like. This is how reparenting becomes internal. This is how new wiring begins, not through punishment, but presence. Think about that. Yeah, presence. In presence, your heart, you know what your heart needs in order for it to stay present. It's almost like sometimes whenever say somebody does something that hurts you and you're like, I need you to apologize. I need you to tell me this because my heart needs to know this. This is how what you said violated this. Build me up in this area. Like we might see it in some context like that where you're like, if somebody steals from you, you're like, I want my stuff back. You know, it's that sort of thing of like, you know, your value when it's cut down. So yeah, in that way, in presence, you can kind of see what your heart needs, how to stay present. Like what made your heart want to pull away? What made you go away in shame? There's a lie. So usually it's the opposite. Like you can kind of build an affirmation by looking at the opposite of that. If it's like, I'm ugly, I'm beautiful, or my clothes is trash, it's like, I'm grateful that I have clothes. I'm really grateful that these clothes cover me and that I'm warm. I'm clothed. So yeah, it's like, it's finding that opposite thing that helps you stay present. Thinking, oh, I look ugly, you might want to leave the room. It's like, no, I'm beautiful, I'm unique. Nobody looks like me. I am my own presence in this room. I impact the world like nobody else can. Things like that. So I like, yeah, seeing presence, it speaks to the lie makes you move away from presence. And what truth does your heart need to stay there? What would reinforce you, encourage you to sit and to abide and to soak up a new reality and to begin to believe it? That way you don't leave. And I've got a lot of tension happening that I don't want to just push through. Commercial break. Commercial break. Commercial break. No commercial. I'm just joking. Um, I can make one. Book a coaching session if you want to work through this stuff. There you go. I just made that up. I was actually just burping. Yeah. Um, so yeah, now let's look at what changes when you stop believing the critic. So when you stop taking that voice at face value, you stop abandoning yourself. Again, the image of leaving presence, it's abandoning yourself because of the criticism. And you start building self-trust. You start to trust your presence. You start to trust what you bring to the room. You start to trust your mind. You start to trust your heart. The words that come out of your mouth, the things that you notice in the room, and the things that you bring attention to. You start to trust that you're wired for a reason to be in the room. Back to presence, right? We just simply have an impact on one another. Our stories, our journeys, our presence, our smile, our energy, our spirit, our soul, our touch. So yeah, when you stop taking criticism as truth, you begin to build self-trust. You begin to feel safe inside of your own skin. Yeah. This is the undoing in me right now. Like, I'm an Uber driver, so like I have people in my car all the time, and it's like the most delivering experience. Whether it's I'm talking or if I'm not talking, they both deliver me in different ways. Sometimes I can realize my talking's out of performance, so I just be quiet, and then I feel all this uncomfortable stuff. I feel how like responsible I am for things I shouldn't be responsible for, and then that's start to notice that about myself, why I can't relax. And then I just choose to relax. I choose like to see the lies that come up in silence and a lot of this stuff. Like, it's extremely refining. I've been an Uber driver for the last 2 years, and it's been nothing short of extremely purging and refining for me. To stay in the life lessons that's coming out of it. And it's been a struggle. It showed me my shame. It showed me everything about myself. Even today, as I'm learning to embrace the weird, embrace letting go of all the things I think I had to be okay with myself, to do the job. Yeah, to do the video right now. How do we remain free? How do we allow these moments that could be criticism, but that we can begin to see ourselves for what we're believing and how to come out of agreement with it? But yeah, we start to feel safe in our own skin again. The critic may still visit, but it no longer gets the final word. That's the truth. We get to decide when we begin to create that safe space for ourselves within ourselves, that space to reassess, to listen, to ask questions. What is this trying to get me to believe? What is this voice selling me right now? Do I want to buy this? It doesn't get the final word. You get to decide. You're not just this auto ship where it just comes to your house. Like, nah. There's no agreement you've been in that you can't unagree to. You can come out of agreement with the contracts with this voice. Yeah. And you become the one who sees yourself clearly. There's so much in that. You become the one who sees yourself clearly. For me, I kept thinking other people saw me clearly. And a lot of people don't see me clearly. And if I live under the perception of people, every group has their own things that they prioritize, and then I get categorized according to what they value and where I land on the spectrum of that. This is a really turbulent way of living, that who I am is who other people see me to be, who my parents see me to be, who certain communities see me to be. Who am I? Am I what people see, or am I what I innately am? And sometimes you can't actually manifest what you actually are because you're so yoked up with other people's perception. You need to be validated in order to be. I'm speaking to me. This was my life path. I just lived frustrated and angry that people couldn't see me because I was too afraid to be what I am and to be criticized for what I am. I was too busy, caught up, trying to prevent something that was inevitable. Because everybody has their own agendas. They have their own fears, their own things they're trying to control. And they just can't affirm something that would dismantle that would expose things. Yeah. Everybody has their own story around that, but just trying to say what is applicable, but some of it's just my own journey. But yeah, you become the one who sees yourself clearly, the one who speaks to yourself kindly, the one who chooses what voice gets to stay. This is when we take ownership of our life. I get to determine what gets to stay in my territory, the territory of my mind, the territory of my heart. What gets to live here? I get to decide what I cultivate within myself. Like, I don't want criticism in my life anymore. This is where real refinement begins. It's not in being perfect, but in being present. Yeah. As I choose to be present, I get to see the incoming messages and I get to sort them. I get to discard them. I get to say, yeah, let's put that in. I like that. Let's put that one on repeat. Let's play that CD. I get to sit and be the architect of my own life. The refinement, the pulling the weeds out of the garden of my heart. Like, okay, I want to plant this. I want to take this out. I want to patch up that area. I want to heal the ground over here. I'm going to plant this. I'm going to water this. I'm going to put some, I don't know gardening terms, but some miracle grow on this. I want it to grow fast. I like this one. I'm going to put it on repeat. I'm going to play it all night, every day. This is what I want to be planted in my garden. I want to believe this to be true now. This is how I want to speak to myself. This is how I want to build a relationship with myself. I don't I don't talk to myself that way no more. I don't want to be judged by my words. I don't want to be judged whether I'm talking or not talking. I don't want to be judged whether I'm funny or not funny. Mm-mm. I don't want to judge myself by that no more. I was judged by that. I will not judge myself by that. All 100 of y'all can judge me. I'm not judging myself by that. I eject that tape out of myself. Mm-mm. That don't define me. It defines you because you chose that. You chose to subject yourself to that belief. Not this one. This is what freedom looks like. This is refinement. This is the internal choice of what you're going to listen to. And it's so freeing. It's so freeing. This is the liberty that we have as individuals. This is that extracting. I want to believe that business can be easy. I want to believe that making videos can be pure authenticity. I want to believe that I can be around people and my body not start going in fits. I want to believe that I don't need to be tense anymore. I don't need to protect myself. I want a new belief. A bit of a hack: affirmations and ChatGPT. Talk to it about all that you're struggling with. Type in there, I'm struggling with this. I'm keep feeling this. I keep hearing this voice and da 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 da. And I don't want to believe that no more. I don't want to live that way no more. I want to actually feel confident in these ways. I'd love to believe this. Can you make some affirmations for me that would help me to get in alignment with this new belief? Take those affirmations, edit it, tell it more information. Like, oh, I really like that one. Go more in this direction. I don't like that word. Take that word out. Put this in there. We get to design our life. We get to design our hearts. We get to design our minds. We get to design our vision. Because the critic is throwing off your vision. If you still hear your dad speaking garbage over you, because he doesn't know any better, if you still hear that voice, you still hear your mom, you still hear that bully at school, it's your job to eject that tape. It's your job to govern your heart, to govern your mind. Do you want to believe that, oh, I'll always be out of balance? I can't find flow for myself? Do you want to use your type as an excuse? It's just the way I am. And that is what will be. And I bless you in that. And I accept you in that. But yeah, when you start to look at what your beliefs have produced in you, the voice that you've been just on autopilot, you buy it, you got it on auto ship. Everything it's selling is just coming to your door, just piling up. You open the door, you put that over in that corner. And that whole room, that all that mess is filling up, like it had its own purpose. It had a reason for being in that room, but it's just taking up all that area, and it's just forever just piling up, piling up. There comes a day that you go, you know what? I want to break this contract. I'm going to unsubscribe. I'm going to get off that auto ship. I don't want another one of these, and I'm going to have a burn party, and I'm going to put a new tape in. And affirmations is like starting a new auto ship. I'm going to have these beautiful things come into the house. I'm going to have these beautiful things playing over me all the time until like it begins to paint amazing murals all over my walls, that this reality of this new affirmation is all I can see. This is how powerful we are. The critical voice feels so powerful, but we came into agreement that we don't have power to even allow that to happen. So step back into your power. I speak into you. You are incredibly powerful. You're the one in authority over your life. So everything that's happening in your territory is because you're allowing it. And it could be because you think it's so powerful. But once you come back into the awareness of like, no, I get to create space. I get to step back. Peace and rest is always an option for me. What do I want to do with this stuff that's coming into my world? I can unsubscribe. You think about how your email can get so full of a bunch of junk. It might take a while, and that's why you need to give yourself grace, but you can go and unsubscribe, mark spam, block, and eventually you're down to what you actually want coming in your inbox. You can go out and seek out new things to subscribe to, and now you actually like your inbox. So I think it's funny when people say like, "Oh, I got to get off of Facebook. It's so negative." I'm like, "It ain't Facebook. It's your circle. It's what you have bombarding you. Like, you're letting the algorithm send that stuff to you. You've entertained that, and that's okay. Don't condemn yourself. It's just like intentionally start to clean up and switch it up, and it can become the most life-giving thing ever, you know? So, all of these things are just tools, you know? But yeah, so that's what happens when you change what you're listening to, when you're intentional, when you face that voice and you unsubscribe, when you stop taking it as truth, when you realize I don't have to just take this, it sets you free. And this is where refinement actually begins. And again, as a final word, it's not about being perfect, it's about being present. So as your imperfections come up, don't pull away in shame. You go, "Oh my God, why am I believing this? Why am I still dealing with this?" Like, it can make you want to like pull away and try to act like you're not dealing with it. That's why like I expose myself. I'm like, y'all, I'm still got tension. I hope there's gonna be a day when I'm be like, I ain't got no tension. You know? But like, it's not shameful. I can think like, man, I shouldn't be dealing with this right now. But it's like, no, this is what I'm dealing with. I'm putting it in the light. I'm not going to let it pull me out of presence. And in presence, I'm getting refined because I'm talking about it. Yeah. I'm pausing to find a new reality. And I'm living from that new reality. My journey isn't shameful. It's real. Your journey isn't shameful. It's real. And I'd love to hear about it in the comments. I love each and every comment that I receive here on the channel, on Facebook. I read every comment. I'm grateful for it. I might not get back like the same day, but I see your comments coming in and they warm my heart. And I'm so grateful for the dialogue. Each person who has the courage to share a piece of their journey. It's not only a blessing to me, but other people who are reading the comments. I love the dialogue and the learning we all get from shared experiences. So yeah, I value each and every comment, each and every like, each and every subscription. Yeah, thank y'all so much. And now I'm going to leave you with this. A question to ask yourself. Can you catch the voice in your head and question it? Can you pause before agreeing with it and ask, is this voice rooted in truth or in fear? Because the way you speak to yourself becomes the way you live with yourself, and you deserve to live with kindness. So true. It becomes how you live with yourself. There's nowhere you can go that you're not there. You can get away from other people, but you can't get away from yourself. So I encourage you to be kind to yourself, to love yourself, give yourself grace, learn with yourself. Be on the journey with yourself. Be like, oh, I discovered this today. I learned why I keep falling over and over and over. It took me 10 times. I now see what's tripping me up. And celebrate the discovery. Like, that's kindness. That's not criticizing yourself. Man, I struggled with this. I struggled with this. I struggled with this for years, man. And now it don't pull me as much. It didn't have as much of a pull. Yeah, I finally can take care of my body better. Like, the addiction isn't holding me as much. I don't crave that thing as much anymore. This is what kindness, this is what living with yourself, become your own best friend. Like, that's what it's all about. Begin, to embrace yourself in what you see. When you see things you don't like, give yourself a hug. Know that you're passing through that thing. It's not who you are. So if this message resonated with you in any way, subscribe for more Refinement Fridays. I talk about all this real stuff here on the channel, on Facebook, just real conversations of what refinement looks like, what working through things looks like, how to heal, how to move through things, how to be kinder to ourselves. Yeah. And share this with somebody whose inner critic has been really loud lately. They really just might need to hear this video, and it might soften that voice, give them a tool to help navigate the moments when it's speaking. That's what it's about. It's a process. It's a process. It's a journey. If you've only been hard on yourself, it's going to take some time. You got to give that person so much more kindness because of how much abuse they've been through. And that person could be you. Because a lot of times we got away from who was criticizing us. But you can't get away from yourself. So be kind to yourself and listen to this video over and over. And maybe this video can become the on repeat as you build out your own affirmations. But yeah, share this with somebody who you feel, who pops up in your heart that, hey, this might encourage them. Go on and share the video and like the video if you got value out of it. I love seeing that. And it also helps the algorithm for this video to get out to more people who could be blessed by it just like it's helped you. So let me know that it's been a blessing to you by giving it a like, thumbs up, heart it, leave a comment. Let me know what you got, what takeaway, what stood out to you, or a part of your journey that you'd like to share with the community that something you've overcome, something you've learned, and how to be kinder to yourself, or even just where you're struggling right now. The comment section can be a place where you can be embraced and heard as well. So you're not broken. You're not behind. You're just learning to hear yourself clearly again. Yeah. Those voices make you feel broken. They condemn you. They beat you up. But yeah, you're learning to hear your actual voice, because that's not you. And this is the work that we're doing here on Refinement Fridays. And yeah, guys, that is it for this week. Thanks for listening. I'm grateful for your presence on the channel and watching the videos. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Stay tuned and have a blessed week. And yeah, guys, love yourself, be kind to yourself, and I'll see you on the next one.